My name is Calvin, but everyone growing up called me CK. I grew up in a small subdivision in Laguna. As a child, I enjoyed cartoons but didn't fancy anime much. However, I remember my parents watching a Tagalogized version of Dragon Ball Z
Kahit sila Piccolo, Gohan, Goten na Trunks.
on weekend afternoons. My mom would sing me the Boo Cha Cha theme song to, like, to as a lullaby, to say the least.
Boo boo, cha cha, boo boo, cha cha.
One thing I also remember growing up is that one cherished routine was buying Hot Wheels cars every Sunday after the church at the mall. It was a simple pleasure that I looked forward to each week. A significant event in my childhood was a severe burn on my right thigh, which left a large scar. It happened because I had a cold and my mom brought me something hot. I accidentally tipped it over from her hand. Fortunately, it was summer, so I didn't miss school for a month. I ended up bragging about my scar to my friends, even making up a fake story I got it to sound cool. Growing up, we couldn't afford the popular toys of the time: Beyblade, Bakugan, and the Be the Man. These were the toys that facilitated play and bonding with the classmates since smartphones weren't even around that time. And Game Boys or PSPs were not even allowed in school. But despite this, I found ways to connect and have fun making the most of what I had. In my grade school years, there isn't much that stands out, but a few memories remain vivid. I cried on my first day of grade 2, even though I didn't cry on my first day of grade 1. I remember this because my grade 2 class advisor was dismissive of my feelings, which made the experience more difficult. In grade 1, the big trend was WWE, which I became interested in despite wrestling being banned in our household. I still chose to watch it when my parents were at work. I idolized wrestlers like Randy Orton.
What a show that's gonna be! What a Raw! And our main event just keep.
First grade itself wasn't particularly interesting, but I do remember calling a tall classmate my sister because she had a comforting sisterly vibe. I used to put my head down as if I were sleeping, and my classmates would be concerned, thinking I was crying as well. Another significant event that year was the birth of my little sister. This added a new dynamic to our family and was a memorable part of my childhood. In second grade, I cried on my first day, a somewhat stark contrast to my experience in first grade. Unfortunately, I also faced bullying from a classmate. I never understood why he targeted me, but perhaps my shy demeanor made me an easy target. Despite this, one thing I did enjoy was being the one to list down the names of noisy classmates. This small responsibility gave me a sense of importance and distraction from the less pleasant aspect of that year. In third grade, camera phones were the latest craze. Everyone was showing off their Nokia 7610s or Nokia 6600s. I remember asking my mom for a phone, but she declined, reminding me of our other expenses and her frugal nature. Around this time, I started watching anime called Mirmo Depon, which was on Cartoon Network before. And surprisingly, I didn't know Cartoon Network aired animes during the evenings as well. And yeah, I became fascinated with a character named Dylan. And instead of holding a book like he did, I carried around a pocket Bible. This was also the year I experienced my first taste of school drama. Inspired by Troy from High School Musical 2. There's this scene wherein she winks at Gabriella. So I ended up doing the same thing with this female classmate of mine. I winked at her and she ended up liking me. So the situation spiraled into unexpected drama, which is something I'd rather forget. In fourth grade, I met this cool kid who had a Death Note notebook. He would jokingly threaten to write me in if I annoyed him. And being quite gullible, I believed him. There was a time wherein we both had a falling out, and he actually wrote my name in the notebook. I ended up telling our class advisor about it, crying as I did so. Despite this, we eventually became good friends. He would give me Naruto stickers every day and was really incredibly talented at making comics in his Mano Ginobili notebook. During this time, I also developed an obsession with pogs. I always looked forward to going home because my grandma would buy me a whole pack of them. This simple joy added a lot of excitement to my days. In fifth grade, I experienced a sense of camaraderie as my classmates and I bonded over what we found on the internet. YouTube was on the rise with popular videos from Annoying Orange, Flip Top, Smosh, and other viral content that fueled our conversations before. And during lunch, we often played hide and seek in the auditorium gymnasium. I never ate lunch because I usually finished my packed food during recess and I didn't have extra money. One day, a teacher caught us playing and took down the names of everyone involved. I also met a friend who would hang out with me all the time. He was generous, often letting me borrow his PSP, even when I was too shy to accept it. I was watching him play games like Siphon Filter. It was awesome. But like sadly he passed away the next year because of dengue. That year also, my classmates started planning trips after our Christmas parties, including outings to theme parks, but deep down I wished to be invited, but it never happened. Instead, I went home and played Resident Evil 4 on my PS2. I guess we can say that it's a win in its own right. In sixth grade, my classmates would often visit my house to play basketball, but however, this was also the time when I started to develop negative feelings about myself. I was bullied by this classmate who made me or my life miserable. Unfortunately, this bullying continued into my year of high school as he ended up being my classmate again. This experience cast a dark shadow over those years, making them particularly difficult for me. Because of this, I'd rather skip retelling my high school experiences as well because they were largely unpleasant. Well, as for my college, I'll just say it in parts. I've met some cool people, had my first taste of alcohol, road trips, started a band, created songs for the first time, public hangouts, and outings. That's about everything. You're probably asleep by now or chose not to finish the video, but if you're still here, thank you for listening to this random video that I have made. Life can be rough sometimes, and some might have lost their hope or have a hard time moving forward, but I can say that I know how rough that can be, and don't worry, I strongly believe that it's temporary. And hey, I know you're trying, we all are. It's okay. We'll get to where we should be one step at a time. If anything, I'm proud of me, and you should be proud of yourself for making this far as well. You really should, as I should be proud of myself too. Thanks for watching.